Hey guys, today we're going to review percents. So it says in here the last time you were talking about percents, it was in 7th grade, so thinking back a while. So we are going to look at what a percent is. It says a percent always compares two quantities as a proportional relationship out of 100. So one of our main things that we would talk about for percents is over of equals percent over 100. So that's basically what this is saying. We have a proportional relationship and then out of 100. Exercise 1 says Jonathan is getting a raise from $12.50 per hour to $14.75 per hour. His supervisor, Michaela, got a raise from $22 per hour to $25.30. How much in terms of dollars is Jonathan's salary going up? Please figure that out. By what percent is his salary increasing? So we're doing the change over his original salary. So it's the change. How much is he increasing? So it's the increase over the original equals percent over 100. That's our setup. So he's increasing by $2.25. His original was $12.50 equals X over 100. You can either get common denominators or you could just do the cross multiply thing. So I personally like to get cross multiply. So I don't know if you remember that. So it looks something like that. So 2.25 times 100 is 225 equals 12.5x. So I need to solve that. 12.5x equals 225. I'm just bringing it over. Divide by 12.5. X equals 18 or 18%. That's a pretty good raise, 18%. Usually you get like a 1.8% raise. So let's figure out, this wants to know who received a larger increase in salaries in terms of dollars per hour. So let's figure out Michaela. Michaela had $25.30 for her raise minus 22. So she earned $3.30. So $3.30 is more than John. So Michaela did better. Who received the larger percent increase in salary? Let's figure out Michaela's. So Michaela is $3.30 over her original salary, 22, which equals percent over 100. Please calculate hers. So I'm gonna call the percent X, cross multiply, 3.3 times 100 equals 22X. So we're multiplying those, bringing it down, multiplying these, bringing it down. So 330 equals 22X. So 330 divided by 22, what are you getting? Good, 15%. Who received the larger percent? Make sure we answer the question. Who? So Jonathan received 18, Michaela received 15%. So Jonathan. You can pretty much always solve percent problems by setting up a proportional equations that involve 100. So just like we did. In exercise 2, it says Gabe is buying a pair of jeans at a local store that are priced at $45. He knows the county he lives in has an 8% sales tax added onto the list price. If Gabe has a gift card for $50, will it cover the cost of the jeans and the tax? All right, so when we're talking about tax, there's an easier way to do it and a more complicated way. We could do it in one step or we could do 2 steps. So we have to figure out the tax rate on $45. So I'm looking for suggestions. So one option is to just figure out how much he would pay in tax. So we would figure out what 45 is times 8%. Or we could do it as, so we could do this 45 times 0.08, and that would equal the tax. Or if you want to make it easier, we can do it in one swoop and figure out what our total is. So we would take $45 and we're multiplying by the whole price, so that plus the tax. So the price plus the tax would be, we have to pay basically 100 plus 8%. So this equals 108% as a decimal, so 1.08. So this is what I like to do when I'm at a store. If I want to know what my total is going to be, I take it and I multiply it by 1.08. So if we did 45 times 0.08, the tax would be $3.60. If we do it this way, it will give us the total cost. It will be $48.60. So when we're doing that, is $50 enough? Will it cover the cost of the jeans and tax? So yes, the gift card will cover the cost. For exercise 3, it says the population of deer in a forest preserve is predicted to decline by 5% this year. If a current population is 560, what is the population predicted for next year? So it's declining. So we are doing 100. That's the full population minus 5%. So we're at a rate of 95%. Do you agree with that? If the population was 560 this year, what would it be for next year? So we could set it up as a proportion. So we could do the total out of 560 equals 95 over 100. Or you could do 0.95 times 560. Your choice. Cross multiply, solve for x, or multiply it this way. There's also, you could have figured out what 5% of the population was and then subtracted it. So quite a few options. Are you getting 532? What percent remains? So that's asking us this, what percent remains? 95% of the deer remained. So 532 deer next year, 95% remain. Although it's convenient to solve using ratios, it's critical that you learn a different method because this is going to be a big topic in exponential functions. So we're going to do this in one step now. So consider the following problem. Let's say I want to leave a 15% tip on a meal that costs $35. Find the tip by setting up a ratio involving 100. So we have to figure out the tip, x over 35. I want to know the tip over 35 equals 15 over 100. So is over of, so what is the tip out of 35 for 15%? Cross multiply, 100x equals 525, divide by 100, and I get x equals 5.25. So the tip would be $5.25. Find the tip by doing a single multiplication. So 15% as a decimal equals 0.15. We would want to multiply 0.15 times 35 to figure out the amount. So if you type that in, we would also get $5.25. So now we want to just work on changing our percents to decimals. So to change a percent to a decimal, you have to divide by 100. That's basically what it's saying in the box. So 20% as a decimal, we would do 0.020 times 85. 12% as a decimal, we would do 0.12 times 200. 6% as a decimal, we would do 0.06 times 550. So you're going to multiply those and solve, and then do the second row also. And then you can do exercise 6. Make sure you're doing 8.5% divided by 100. If you want the shortcut, you would always be moving your decimal back 2 places. So if it's 8.512, so that would make it 0.085. So dividing by 100 makes the decimal go back 2. Check your answers, please. For A, you should get 17. Make sure you're showing your setup. For B, you should get 24. For C, you should get 33. For D, 5.4. For E, 34.56. And for F, 7.875. Make sure you're showing your setup and then getting those. And for exercise 6, that's right, choice 4. All right. Good luck on the homework. If you're not confused about how to set it up as a single expression, please ask. So we're just doing what we did in that example to solve these. Thank you. Have a great day.